Salutations, museum goers. You have most likely drunk Coca-Cola sometime in your life, but have you ever wondered where it came from? The story of Coca-Cola begins with a man with the name John Stith Pemberton. Today we ask the question, who was John Stith Pemberton and why was his product so successful? I believe it was due to the addictive nature of the drink as it contained cocaine, but as the recipe changed, the nostalgia did not, bringing in new generations by the truckload. In May 1886, he developed an early version of the beverage that would later become known as world-famous Coca-Cola, but sold his rights to the drink shortly before his death. Pemberton was born on July 8, 1831, in Knoxville, Georgia, and spent most of his childhood in Rome, Georgia. His parents were James C. Pemberton and Martha L. Gaunt. He entered the Reformed Medical College of Georgia in Macon, Georgia, and in 1850, at the age of 19, he earned his medical degree. Shortly after, he met Anne Eliza Clifford Lewis of Columbus, Georgia, known to her friends as Cliff, who had been a student at the Wesleyan College in Macon. They were married in Columbus in 1853, and their only child, Charles Ney Pemberton, was born in 1854. They lived in a Victorian cottage, the Pemberton House in Columbus, after initially practicing some medicine and surgery. Dr. Pemberton opened a drugstore in Columbus. During the American Civil War, Pemberton served in the 3rd Cavalry Battalion of the Georgia State Guard, which was at the time a component of the Confederate Army. He achieved the rank of lieutenant colonel. In April 1865, Dr. Pemberton sustained a saber wound to the chest during the Battle of Columbus.
Howdy, partner. I'm John Stith Pemberton, Confederate soldier. Slavery, yeah, let's keep that going. Oh no, I'm dying. I'm bleeding out.
No, Pemberton. Let's get some morphine.
Oh, yeah, now I'm addicted to morphine, boys.
He soon became addicted to the morphine used to ease his pain. In 1866, seeking a cure for his addiction, he began to experiment with painkillers that would serve as morphine-free alternatives to morphine. His first recipe was Dr. Tuggle's compound syrup of globe flower.
Oh man, I'm John Stith Pemberton again, and I'm still addicted to morphine. But I really want to find something that has the same effects without any of the health defects. So I made me a nice Coca-Cola with cocaine in it.
Which is coincidentally our artifact. The recipe is held within a vault in the World of Coke Museum in Atlanta, Georgia, in which the active ingredient was derived from the buttonbush, a toxic plant that is common in Alaska. He next began experimenting with coca and cocoa wines, eventually creating a recipe that contained extracts of cola nut and damiana, which he called Pemberton's French wine coca.
Howdy, boys and girls. It's your boy, John Stith Pemberton, back at it again. I've traveled all of South America, and I found these cool new leaves. Now, if you grind them up, they turn into a powder called cocaine. Now, this is for all y'all morphine addicts out there who want a drink that gives the same effects as morphine without any of the health defects. Observe. Whoa! That's what I call a good, refreshing beverage.
With public concern about drug addiction, depression, and alcoholism among war veterans, and euthanasia among highly strung Southern women, Pemberton's medicine was advertised as particularly beneficial for ladies and all those who sedentary employment causes nervous prostration. John Pemberton died of stomach cancer at age 57 in August 1888. At the time of his death, he also suffered from poverty and addiction to morphine.
Howdy, Coca-Cola drinkers and drinkerettes of these United States of America. I am John Stith Pemberton. I have sold all of my stock to the Coca-Cola Company to some rando on the street. Now, I am out of money, meaning I don't have enough money to live.
His body was returned to Columbus, Georgia, where he was buried at Linwood Cemetery. His grave marker is engraved with symbols showing his service in the Confederate Army and his membership as a Freemason. His son Charlie continued to sell his father's formula, but 6 years later, Charles Pemberton died after having become an opium, mainly found in heroin, addict. In John Stiff Pemberton's late life, sick and desperate, he began selling rights to his formula to his business partners in Atlanta. Part of his motivation to sell was that he still suffered from an expensive continuing morphine addiction. Pemberton also had a hunch that his formula someday would be a national drink, so he attempted to retain a share of the ownership to leave to his son. However, Pemberton's son wanted the money, so in 1888, Pemberton and his son sold the remaining portion of the patent to a fellow Atlanta pharmacist, Asa Griggs Candler, for $1,750. In summary, Pemberton did a lot of bad and good things during his life. He became fairly influential in the military, but on the other hand, he was a morphine and cocaine addict and made a lot of the country cocaine addicts as well.